Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Hi, Black Rock family. I'm Jim McKinney. This is Jose Tabora and Lori Mead. The three of us had the great privilege of leading 28 Black Rockers to Honduras to serve with Children's Rescue Mission.
It's so amazing what God did with us and in us during that trip. We had the opportunity to visit schools in the area and share the love of Christ with kids in their classroom, and also just to have some fun time playing football and games and stuff with them after. We shared a skit, we shared songs and food. We had a diverse group, but each person in the group was somehow able to find a place of service. So there were people in the group who felt really comfortable working with the elderly. They fit in there. There were people who felt comfortable working with kids, and they were able to do that. Those who were able to pray, just able to serve, able to do craft. It was just so wild how God was just able to use the different abilities of the group to create one cohesive package.
One of the most meaningful things for me this year was being able to go through the salvation bracelet with hundreds of kids. And so we could take them through the colors and what it represented in the gospel. And then at the end, we got to say, do any of you want to ask Jesus into your heart? And at every place, many of the kids were sincerely asking Christ into their hearts.
I just want to add with, I was on a second trip, so we did the same salvation bracelets in the second trip, but we took a different approach. We gave them extra ones. I was like, so now I want you guys to go home and share that with your family and go through it. So it was such I think both trips intertwined really well. And one of my highlights is one of the pastors at the church in Honduras sent me two pictures. One of Lori kneeling down, helping somebody with the salvation bracelet, and then the second picture of one of his local leaders, a teenager, 14-year-old girl, who saw her doing it and then knelt down herself and started doing it. So that her example is carrying through. So I think that was one of the biggest highlights.
The team, we were called to kind of step out of our comfort zones. So some of us who never did drama before did drama. People prayed because Pastor Miguel is very bold. So he called the mission team up and said, okay, now you need to pray for people at my church. So some people stepped out of their comfort zone, but God was there to really walk us through every single step.
This year, we had a father and son, Olu and Daniel, come on the first trip. And the transformation that God did in Daniel was remarkable.
He went in, with a quiet heart, and it's the lion just came out and it just blossomed and opened up.
This reserved young man just became alive. It was so fun to watch him blossom and realize he could do it, we could do it.
And his dad was so proud of him. So Olu and Daniel, it's such a blessing to see them together as father and son and watch Daniel blossom in the spirit. So that was really special this year.
I have to also share a story of a girl called, I won't give you her name yet, but the team that went last year met a 19-year-old girl who, when she was 12, went through a very traumatic incident. And as a result of that incident, she did not speak for 7 years, and also a face with no emotion. So they prayed for her. They prayed for her mom, who wasn't a Christian at the time as well. They didn't see any change in the young lady, but her mom agreed to go to church. This year, when we went, I was able to speak with that young lady. I said, "Como te llamas?" And she responded. She replied, "Me llamo Alessandra." So she smiled. God has done a tremendous work in that family's life over the past year, and her life has been transformed, and we are grateful that in some small way God was able to use us as a part of that.
So when I came home, I really felt like I was taking so much for granted, and that when I'm in Honduras, it's so easy to be with the Lord, and why do I forget that when I get home. It was deep soul changing for me about my bigger purpose. But I know that he's doing a work, and I know that he's challenging me to be different.
To partner with a church in Children's Rescue Mission is just a beautiful opportunity where God does a mighty work in us, but also allows us to be his hands and feet in some pretty poor areas and the people that really need it.
The motto of this church, love God, love people, and serve our world, I think that this trip really allowed us to do all three. There's a whole lot more, but next year when you come to Honduras, you'll learn about that.